What's up, homies? Welcome back to Agents After Hours. Our podcast is for agents who want to talk about the parts of this industry that no one wants to admit out loud.
We're Erica
And Paige.
and we're here to bring you unfiltered, unapologetically honest real estate talk. So pour a drink, take a breath, and let's dive in, baby. Well, that sure sounded different, didn't it?
It sure freaking did.
I want to wish everyone a Happy New Year.
We have so many new things for 2026, and I'm just so pumped. And we kind of want to talk about said new things. And yeah, so this episode, 44 and on, will officially be on YouTube. So we've had a ton of people ask us for videos because they see our clips. And while we have that, we weren't ever very specific about like our demeanor and things like that for a YouTube video. So I'm excited.
Also really excited. That puts a little bit of pressure on to get ready more
Sure.
often and not be like doodling or whatever we do.
All the time.
But I'm excited for that. Another thing I'm really excited about for this year is, drum roll, our Amazon storefront.
Woo!
Woo, woo.
2025, we got our first affiliate code. 2026, we got approved for an Amazon storefront. So you guys can shop some of our favorites. I know a couple episodes ago we talked about our favorites, and all of them are linked on that storefront. Well, most of them, unless they were found like at Target, but you know, we don't have those.
Right. But it will be cool because going forward, we will continue to link things that we use for podcasting because people have asked us about podcasting in general. So we'll be able to link like the stuff that we use for podcasting, all of the things, the stuff that we use in our business, the stuff that we use personally. So I'm really excited for that. I love shopping on people's Amazon storefronts. So
I find myself doing it all the time because the ads are just really cute,
Mhm.
of like things that they bought. We should do that and make ads. That would be super cool. But yeah, I found myself doing it this morning and ordered a couple things.
Mhm.
So
I love doing it. I love not only supporting the people, but also just, I don't want to go in and search and I'll get distracted. I just want to click on the link, get what you get, especially with clothes. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah. All right. So this episode, we're gonna kind of talk about what we're doing. It's a fresh year. So I feel like everybody should have the motivation.
Mhm.
Usually, I think I read some stat by like the 17th or something. Most people's motivation has died off or something. I'm not letting that happen to me. So I think that this podcast and some of the things that we're introducing to Brickville is going to keep us on track for like us staying motivated into 2026.
Yeah, I didn't know it was the 17th. That's wild. I tend to
Yeah.
get wild hairs often and I'm like motivated. Like I don't know. That I love real estate, so I feel like I do constantly kind of stay motivated in that. So yeah, fun times. But there's other like areas and other buckets that I need to stay motivated.
I stay motivated when it comes to real estate. I think it's like some of the things those extra little things that you could do to take you to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things where I end up, because like if I'm like, all right, well, I'm doing better than I did last year. So we're doing okay. And then I kind of lose motivation at that point, but then I don't want to do that anymore. I think I said it to you and it might have been before the podcast. I don't know if it was ever on here, but if I had the drive that I had year 1 through 3 now with like now's knowledge, I'd be on a whole new level.
It'd be over.
So it would be over.
It'd be over for you bitches. Isn't that like a thing?
It sure the fuck is.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not going to say that. I mean, we have some fantastic and like not intimidating personally, but like they have some intimidating numbers that they put up. So I'm just like, goddamn. But you know, hey, if we can hit my goal, I have a goal. I have a new goal for this year, a volume goal since I hit my last goal. And I have a new volume goal that I'm super excited about.
Nice. All right. Do you want to
We'll
kick
see.
us off? Like take us in?
Yeah. So I think I mentioned it, but my word of the year is prepared. So what I plan to do is plan my month in advance. This year, that will be the start of having a very scheduled schedule. So I'm looking at my entire month. I'm setting aside things that I need to take care of, kind of like time blocking, but I'm looking at when I have availability in my already set schedule. Obviously, there's going to be some fluidity with that, but in the description, it's like, so I'll put like from 9 to 5 or 9 to 2 or whatever I have to work, and then in the description I will put the things that I need to take care of that day. So kind of like what you said, but I made it my own. So that is one thing I will be doing. I am working on all my designs for my pop by gifts. I've ordered some of the supplies. I've gotten everything that I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it, who I'm delivered to. It's now just getting like the little tedious things
Mm-hmm.
to do. I think one of our agents actually gave me the idea. She's like, I'm just ordering everything now, so I have it here, like, so I don't have to worry about it. And I'm like, oh crap, I'm scrambling. I got 2 days to get it, so
Mm-hmm.
that's really cool. I don't know. It says I am I am being more diligent about writing.
What are you
I
writing?
don't know what the fuck am I writing? I
Writing
don't know.
things down?
I write everything down. Oh, okay. So I remember. At like late at night when it's Brandon and I's time and we're, had a couple drinks and we're doing our, nightly stuff. Um, that's when I always have the best ideas. And he's not going to remember that shit in the morning. I'm not going to remember that shit in the morning. So we are trying to be extra intentional about, okay, if I say something that's a good idea, Brandon's gonna be like, hey, write it down. Or I'm gonna be like, oh crap, I gotta write that down. It takes 2 seconds to write it down, and it can be chicken scrap. I mean, obviously, I didn't know what the hell this meant. It'll come back to me at some point. Um, so I'm being extra intentional about that. Um, One big thing that has been, and I actually kind of want to ask you, on live a question.
Mm-hmm.
But when I opened the brokerage, I remember that there was a handful of people that said that there's going to be a time where I come to a fork in the road and it's going to be like, okay, are you going to keep being behind your desk and your computer and handling like the managing back end stuff, like the books, the commission checks, the this, all of that? Or are you going to focus on producing and hire that stuff out? And I was always like, nah, I got this shit. I can handle it all. I can freaking handle it all. And I can, but I don't want to anymore. I really want to get back to producing at a high level. I always say to everybody, I'm a lead by example leader. And if you guys don't know what I'm doing, or if I'm not like actually putting my best foot forward and producing, how can I expect the same from you guys? So I've kind of had this shift where I'm going to focus more on producing, and I've hired my mom to handle our bookkeeping stuff. So that is one huge thing off my plate. The first task I ever delegated was marketing. So that's handled. I brought our part-time transaction coordinator on full time. We have a bookkeeper. We have a marketing team. I can take a bunch off my plate and actually focus on what I love to do. So I'm super stoked about that.
That is really exciting. That's an
I'm ex-
exciting thing.
yeah. Um, I feel like for 2026, I'm biting off more than I can chew, but I always do that and I'll just fucking figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I always handle it. I'm trusting my gut. So I'm kind of like, here goes nothing type shit. Um, I currently have, I mean, with that same motto, I'm like going into the new year. I have quite a bit. I just had a fall through. So I have 4 transactions pending now and I'm super stoked about that. But the thing I wanted to ask you, and I want the listeners' opinions too. Like I really do. I've already made a decision. But I do want everybody's opinion because I remember a friend of mine had mentioned in the past that she wouldn't want to see her managing broker do this, but then I see other managing brokers and other people do it. So anyways, we used to do a top producer for units and volume. For 2026, we're doing the top 5. And I didn't know if it would be tacky if I included myself in that if I was a top producer for that month. If there's a top 5, not a top 2.
I mean, I don't think it's tacky. If
Would you
you
feel some type of way?
so hang on. put a pin in
Yeah.
that, but come right back. Something that I put down before reading any of our notes, something that I had told Eris yesterday is I want to be not included in the stats next year at all. I don't want to be on the leaderboard at all. Even if I'm number 1, I don't want to know. So, I personally don't have I don't care, but that's just funny because like we're on complete opposite ends of that.
Think that there is this persona that I am people don't want to reach out to me because they think I'm too busy,
Mhm.
or they say, "Oh, I didn't want to bother Paige because she's too busy." And I think that's because like nobody saw that. Oh no, my light. Technical difficulties, guys. Fuck. Boom. That was bright. Um okay, well first of all, you got to tell me if you're not going to be on these stats, girl, and you got to tell me that quick.
I just decided yesterday.
Bitch.
I don't want to know. Even if I am number
I'm
1 or number 2, I don't want to know.
What about like top producers on social media? Do you not want those posts either? So if you're a top, you just want me to go to the next person? I don't love that, but
Why?
I understand. Because for own personal reasons,
Like
that's
your
all.
personal reasons or you don't love that for
Yeah,
you?
no, because I love to recognize people
Mhm.
and but if that's not what is going to, if you think that that is going to do more harm than good, then that's more important than me feeling geeked, especially geeked for something you're not interested in being geeked in. You know what I mean?
So, I will get into that, but for like you including yourself, I mean, obviously everyone kind of looks up to you as like a role model that's in the brokerage. So like in one hand, I think that it could increase like I don't know, I guess I could see both sides of it. Me personally, I don't care, but I
Yeah.
could see it being discouraging for someone that's like, "Damn, my best year I'm producing 3 million and like I might be somewhere in the top, but then like there's someone else who's doing 8 or 10 or whatever."
I also see the other side of it. Like if I'm beating somebody out, like if I'm would technically be the fifth place and I'm beating somebody else out, I think that is where, but I wouldn't ever do it on like the office meetings. When I present at the office meetings, that I'm going to do the top 10 of who the top 10 actually is. It would solely just be for social media.
So you have
Like
your own post to post? I mean, is that more of like a thing that you want your own recognition for like the work that you're doing? And
maybe,
do you want the recognition from your agents or do you want the recognition from your clients? Because you don't get a chance to really
right. It's that.
showcase
I
that.
want the clients and potential clients to see that doing, I'm still selling.
Mhm.
I'm not selling. Um, but I wouldn't put myself on the leaderboard for office meetings and stuff like that because I'm not included in those awards at the end of the year. Um, so I don't care about that part of it. Is more the forward facing, the public facing stuff
Mm.
is where I would like to be recognized. But then I also thought we went from top 1 in volume, top 1 in units to now you have 5 chances to get into the top 5 or to be recognized as a top producer for the month. So I feel like I've also expanded the opportunity to be in that social media post if you want to be.
But you're taking one of those spots likely every single time. So just know that.
I know, but
Uh,
I know.
that's up to you. I'm giving my spot up because I know I would be in the top 5. So I'm giving mine up. You can take it. Just saying.
All right. Well, that kind of makes me feel a little bit better because you for sure would be in the top. I mean, you are a top producer at our brokerage, so whoop whoop. That's awesome for you. Anyways, okay. Um, the other thing, and I've talked about it at the business and goals meeting, and I thought about it before I put that on. But one thing is I wanted to see where all of my referral, like my source of income was coming from. Like, was it social media? Was it past clients? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. Most of them were past clients or repeat clients or uh, referrals from past clients
Mm-hmm.
or social media. So, and then the 5 that I did have pending, one was from social media, 2 were past clients, and 1 was a past client referral. So, obviously, my sphere of influence is my bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I make most of my money. So, I need to nurture those. I need to recognize those. I need to say thank you to those people. So, 2026 is the year where I'm going to be very intentional, which should have also been one of my words for the year,
That's
but I'm
my
going to be very intentional.
sorry. That's my
That's your
second
second?
word. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
needed it, and I'll explain why
Yeah.
once we get going on my stuff. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's my second word.
Yeah. So, I am going to that a lot of my 2026 is going to be focusing on producing, being on the executive team for the board. It's going to be managing broker and working on my clients. Like I have a lot of intentional things that I want to take care of this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited. So yeah, that's kind of what I am working on right now.
Well, I'm really excited for you. I think that it's really cool to hit your big goal and then to kind of be like, okay, what's next? Um, Kind of going back to what you were talking about being prepared. That's a really great focus, and I think that it's gonna make the rest of your job very easy because the pop buys, the gifts, the things are things that would stress me out last minute because I know that I'm like kind of like a last minute type of gal.
Say, yeah.
Um, I have all the ideas, which brings me back to talking about writing things down because how many ideas do I have that come and go that if I wrote them down and revisited them later would be something great. So I really like that. Um, as far as it's kind of getting off of the managing end of things, I think that that's something that is when you hear anyone kind of talking about running like a team or a brokerage or whatever, those are tasks that aren't really in alignment. I mean, for your business, yeah, you got to do them, but those are some things that you could just be like, okay, here, go.
Hmm.
So I think that you could definitely have better use of time. So I'm excited for that and to see you out there hustling.
So whoop whoop.
Yes, I love it. The leaderboard stuff, I think that that's use your best judgment. I mean, you're not going to make everybody happy all the time, and I think that you need to really understand that that I mean that could be a thing. But if you don't care, then you don't care, and I don't care. So, um, people can. I mean, it should be more of an encouragement and a inspiration, if you ask me.
Yeah. And if there's people that have feelings about it, I think that I would love to know those and I would love to see a different perspective, maybe from someone that might care. Cause like I've asked a couple other people and all of them don't care. So, um, except for like Brandon made a comment about the leaderboard, like that I do for the office meetings. He's like, I wouldn't put your name on that. I'm like, no, I don't care about that. Like, it's just the forward facing or the public facing stuff. So, but I would be curious if there's anybody that does care and what that perspective is.
Hmm.
I really would. So
So,
yeah.
uh, if you present me with a situation, I'm going to think about both sides of it, and I'm going to think
Yeah.
about maybe people's points of view that don't align with my own.
Yeah.
So that's just the kind of friend I am, and
Heck yeah.
like I said, personally, I want off of those. Um, so yeah.
Love that.
So my word of the year is alignment. And then in my next little note, I put that I'm being really intentional about things about how I spend my time and my energy. I have not, Eris and I tend to like sit down once at the beginning of the year and like kind of go over like our whole like plan, our method of attack, all of the things. And last night that's going to be this coming up weekend. Last night we were downstairs doing a workout together and I'm like, something feels off, and I mentioned it to you and I was like, it doesn't something does like I love a new year because I understand the new year, new me, people don't like that. That's not me, but also in business specifically, it's a clean start. That's when it starts over. So like you have to kind of go into it with like, okay, what am I going to do differently this year? Like that is the time to
Hmm.
kind of tweak stuff. So last year I felt like I had a really great year. Then I looked around and I was like, it wasn't that good. Like seeing myself, seeing what I did, I felt like I could have done more. And so I get very torn between wanting to go really hard and also wanting a balance. And so that's where I think alignment comes in for me, because I don't want to work necessarily harder. I don't want to hustle harder. I want quality over quantity this year. I want quality clients. I want my ideal clients, the ones that trust me, the ones that are decisive, the ones that value my not only my time, but the years that I've put in at this point, that value my opinion and that want to take my advice. And that fully trust me and know that I'm not going to lead them in the wrong direction, because I'm not. I want more of those. So I don't there's going to be less chasing for me this year. Um, that's why I don't want to be on a leaderboard, because I don't I want to very much focus on what feels good for me. So like the last year, I guess I said it on one of the very first podcasts that we did, that like I was coming for that spot. That's not a good I'm competitive, but that's not a good frame of mind for me to be in. I very much am. I always want more. I always want more. I always want more. I don't think that's ever going to go away, but I want to do it in a way that's a little bit softer, I guess. I don't know what this year is going to look like as far as personal life. And so I don't want to, I don't want to disappoint myself when things take a left turn or take a right turn or do the things, because we have a lot going on. And while I want my business to grow, I still want this to be the best year ever. I just want to do it in a way that feels better. Um, if I'm stressing out as soon as I get a text message from a client, that's not a client for me, and I'm not going to take that on. So, uh, because it's not fun for me to show up to a showing and feel frustrated with someone, it's not fair to that person. So I'm going to be more selective about who gets my energy this year.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. So I I think my plan is really to focus on making sure I'm doing the things. I still want to do the things. I want to continue to do all and it's going to come. And instead of me being like, I'm out here, I'm going to do 4 million this quarter, 4 million, like I'm just going to trust myself. I'm going to do the things that I know I need to do. And I'm going to be very intentional about the things that I know I need to do and the things I'm spending my time on, and focus more on the process, I think, in honing that in rather than the result, because the result's going to come if I'm doing the work.
I can respect that.
I feel like this past year, I haven't been this is like very candid, but like I don't feel like I've been the best wife, because my brain's been on like, go, go, go. I don't want to do that. Like my marriage is the most important thing in my life, before work, before anything. And I don't want to be that way. So again, not slowing down, just shifting.
So, couple things I thought of, and I actually wrote it down because I want to be able, that's again, being prepared and actually like paying attention and being intentional and being able to like hear what you're saying and like writing down quickly what I want to talk about and focusing back on you, because I have ADD. So like, and I'm sure you feel it sometimes when someone talks, you're always like, oh wait, hold on. Like, and you want to add to the conversation. But I actually like sometimes you get off track as a person. Like if I'm like talking or explaining somebody and somebody's like interjecting on every big point, I'm like, I'm going to lose track of what I'm even talking about and what the purpose of this conversation is. So a couple things that I wrote down. It's just for reference. Like Erica and I, we text a lot outside of the podcast. Not a lot, but we often enough. But we don't really hang out too much outside of it. And we talk the most during this podcast. So the fact that you said that you want to go into 2026 with soft girl energy, same. Like that is actually something I have written down too. Like even I have a Pinterest board of like soft girl outfits and things like that, because I love wearing all black. I always have black cat vibes, but that can make me feel cold on the inside too. So I want to feel soft. I want to feel approachable. I don't, and I'm sick and tired of people saying that I'm intimidating. I'm not fucking intimidating. So I want to come off as a soft girl. So I think that's crazy that so do you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we're literally the same person.
And it's not necessarily like I said, I don't want this to be misconstrued for like I'm slowing down. I
Hmm.
just want it to
Right.
be, again, more aligned. I want it to feel fun. I don't want to
Yes.
feel like the it's not supposed to be a burden, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So that's
I
where I'm
think
coming from.
both of us are go, go, go. And I think that when you are go, 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 you kind of forget the fun and you forget the good and you forget, like, because you're focusing on getting the next task done. That's so I think soft girl to me is more being more in the moment and it handling every situation with more calmness than stress or go, go, go.
Less chaos. I tend to be
Less
very,
chaos.
yeah, I tend to be very chaotic just in my energy. I think that if you've been around me, you probably know. But that's where I'm kind of just like, okay, I'm ready to like regulate. Something that I wrote down is like, I want to be able to have my baseline and I want to return to my baseline. Like if I'm shaken, okay, and I want to come back to baseline very quickly to move on.
I would love at some point for you when this happens and when you're at been like, oh, 2025 Erica would have responded like this, but 2026 Erica is responding like that. Whenever you have an example of that, I would love to hear it. And I'll do the same when I
Hmm.
think about that too. Because what does that mean when it's chaos or like when you're choosing not to be chaotic or like what? Because that doesn't also mean lack of urgency. It's just, I feel like what's more internal. Like I don't want to feel the chaos internally even though it's an urgent thing, you can handle it with grace and softness and the same amount of urgency and knowledge.
So I can think of an example of this video that I saw. It was a couple and they were sitting down and the husband was on the phone talking to someone and he like turned to his wife and his wife was me basically and she was like, "No, you need to tell him that we didn't do this," and I'm like, "Okay, that is me." And she said, "Watch me in real time shift my energy." And so she came back with a whole different response like, and that was something that triggered for me. And I
Yes.
was like that I flip my lid or like I feel like I need to be right. Like I know that I can
I get what you're
how do
saying.
I say this nicely? I know that I can be right or I can make the I can prove to you in almost any situation that that I Eris is laughing, but not that I'm right, but I have reasoning, right? Like even if I'm wrong, I can tell you my reasoning. So like when to learn to let that go because it doesn't need your energy. A situation that we had was Eris went and did a whole CMA was stressing about this like this number he wanted to get these people a perfect number, doing all the work. As soon as he gives it over to them, mind you, they followed up with him the next day. Like, "Hey, do you have everything ready? Like we're ready to list." And then they as soon as he gives them like his numbers and his stuff, they're like, "We're actually going to sell it by owner." He was pissed. Rightfully so. Like he is very good at his numbers, but he was like, I need to figure this out. Like he wanted to give them something very quality, not just off the cuff. And my first instinct is to be like, say something along the lines of like, this is my, I don't, just something to like, not make, to just show them that that was wrong. But as we thought about it, we're kind of just like, let's just simmer down. So let's see if we even feel like this the next day. Let's shut our minds off to it, wake up the next day and see how we feel. And we realized it wasn't worth anything because it's not going to have the impact that I think it's going to have on someone. They're going to be like, "Oh, okay. So, like, cool. Thank
Yeah.
you. I got what I needed."
Yeah.
And so that's not something that deserves our energy because it would have progressed. The conversation would have progressed. We would have kept like arguing back and forth and for nothing.
And because like if they fail for sale by owner and you caused a rift, they're
Mhm.
not coming to you for sure.
Mhm.
my very first managing broker, before, like, it was really, this was back in 2018. And I think that a lot of people did it, but it wasn't a majority, where they're like free market analysis. She would charge. I don't know if I can say, actually. She used to charge a fee for to do a CMA, and if you listed with her, she would take it off your commission.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like that concept. I also like the concept of retainers for buyers. But I also know that we work in a market that a lot of people will do things for free to get the lead. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, because I did the same thing. Like, I'm not saying that in a bad way whatsoever. But if that's what I'm competing against, my knowledge or my better listing presentation or my better ability to work with you is going to be out the window if homegirl down the road is not charging you a retainer or isn't charging you for a CMA. And I don't think we can say an industry, like a set industry standard, because we can't. Like, all parts of our job is negotiable. Our commissions, any fees that we pay, we're 1099 contractors. Everything we do is negotiable. But it would be nice if more agents started doing that, because I feel like a lot of people in our industry, like, our time is not taken seriously, like, at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think people understand, like, and I'm not mad at my clients with this fall through that I had, and I'm not mad, and I know that this is part of the job, so I just want to say that. I want to preface this, like, I know, and I'm not upset about it, but just to provide context for people that are not realtors, like, I spent 45 days working on this transaction, hours upon hours upon hours. Falls through, they're no longer buying. I'm out everything that I worked for those 45 days. And that's that's part of the business. I get that. But that does suck sometimes. Like, or if you're not that much of a, like, if you don't produce that much and that your income really relies on that, like, that's gut wrenching in a sense. Like, it's pretty jarring. So I don't know how we change the narrative on realtors. There's a lot of different narratives that need to be adjusted for realtors, but
I think that
so yeah.
we all need to go into it realizing that we are professionals, that not only do we take a class and everybody says it's a very low barrier to entry, which, okay, it is. The test is hard as hell, but okay, even so, like, there's so much experience that we gain. Like, how much
Yeah.
I've grown in 5 years in my knowledge is crazy. And so, like, I feel like I can provide differently than an agent who just got their license. I can provide
Yeah.
more insight. I've been through more things. I've seen more things. I've learned, and it's something that, like you said, we don't get paid for it. So a lot of people don't understand that we don't get paid until we close. So all the, just, oh, we can go see it, see if we like it. I'm for that, because I feel like the pictures might not look like, I mean, we all know the pictures don't look like the house regardless, and it can be
Yeah.
for good or for bad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if it checks your boxes, I'm for that. If it's 800 square feet and you've already said you at least need 1,200 square feet for your family, no matter how
No,
800 square feet is laid out, it's going to be 800 square feet, not 1,200. So
that's a big difference too.
it's a big difference. So, you know,
It's not like 100 square feet difference. That's a lot.
no, because sometimes you can walk into a house that's under 1,000 square feet and be like, wow, this feels really spacious, really big. But it's just, don't try to make it work. And I think that it's going to come this year. My alignment and my quality over quantity is also going to come from my end, because it's going to be, how am I preparing the buyers? How can I get better at that, tighten it up to make sure that things like that don't happen? Because a conversation that Iris and I had surrounding that issue that happened is, okay, well, how do we not let that happen again? How do we ask the question up front, or how do we make sure that we're not providing anything until we know for sure that they want a relationship with us?
Yeah, that's tough. So there was an agent at our brokerage that beat out a handful of other listing agents for a listing. And this agent asked, like, why did you go with me? What was the difference? And she had said that one of the agents that was interviewed had not provided. It was kind of like that. Like, she's like, well, this is what I will do to list, like, to get your house ready. This is what is included in my commission. These are my fees, all these things. But when it came down to a number, she had such a big range. Like, crazy. And she was like, no, I want a set number. And she was like, when you decide to work with me, I will give you a set number that I think. That turned off that seller. The seller didn't go with her for many reasons, but one of them that is like, you didn't give me a number. So how do I know that you're even competent to price my house when you just gave me a range? And the range was very different. Like, I think it was like 100 to 200,000 if I'm, I think 200,000 if I'm, and it's not over $1 million. So it's not like it's at a price point that swings like that. So that was pretty jarring to that seller, and they chose not to work with her. And that was one of the reasons, because she wouldn't give a set number. So
I think it would be in your delivery. I think that you need to get
100%.
get intentional with how you're doing the things. I don't think it's impossible, but also it comes to
Yeah.
vetting your seller. Like, if I'm going up against 20 other people, if someone goes in and makes a better impression than me, there'll be 10 reasons why. But that's just person's not for
Yeah.
me. Like, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't be upset if I got be out for something like that. If I
Yeah.
in my core feel like that was the right thing to do, because
Right.
if that was a one-time situation, but if I'm continuously getting screwed over in that situation, I don't care at that point,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
again, the people that I'm going to work with this year in 2026, they trust me, they want to work with me, they value me. So
Yeah.
everything else is just kind of they're going to trust my process.
Yeah. Absolutely. Amen. Um, the other thing that you said, is that you didn't want to keep, like you mentioned how, like, I don't want to produce 4 million in a month, whatever you said, like keeping track of like how much you're producing every month. I did this or to stay on track for your goal, I think is what you said, something along those lines. But I yesterday looked at like where Brick Built was for 2025 and the goal that I have set for 2026 for Brick Built, like how much we have to stay on track each month or each quarter to be able to hit that goal or to stay on track. And to me, it works differently. When I see that and I see that we're like 2 million short, I'm like, okay, what is working? What isn't working? What needs to be adjusted and tweaked? So if you look at numbers or you look at stats and you look at numbers and there's like a gut punch and you don't want to because you think for you said it like that's not good for you. And if that's not good for you, then don't do it. But I also, for me personally, I have to see the numbers because I need it keeps me on track, or keeps me looking for what needs to be improved to be able to hit that number each
So
month.
for me, what I am referring to is I'm still tracking all my own numbers. I will be looking
Okay.
at my own
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
I don't want to see it in comparison with anyone else. So
Yeah.
like
Absolutely.
that's where
I get
I'm
that
saying.
part.
So I'm still gonna, because we had a coffee this weekend with a couple that I truly admire and respect, and one of the things that we had talked about was, okay, what's your version of success? Mine is my husband and me, we don't have to get up in the morning and punch a time clock. We can spend the day together doing our things. And what he said was, okay, so you've reached that. So you've succeeded, right? Now it's about becoming better and better and better. And so I'm like, okay, like that just takes like a whole, because you don't constantly have to chase success. You just have to chase doing better and doing better. And so
Yeah.
like if that's enough, if I don't know, I feel like I was in a negative first of all, looking back 2025, the year sucked, if I'm being real honest. Like, it was a shit show for me. I didn't notice it in the moment, but I noticed it looking back. And I was just, I don't know. It had great things about it, but the overall vibe of it was like, nah, let's do better. Like, let's calm down.
I don't like the way that you talked about your 2025, saying that it wasn't, like, in real estate, it wasn't good because you feel like you could have done better. I I understand and I hear you, but as somebody that has also watched you grow the past couple years, especially in production, you guys had a very kick-ass year. Regardless if you feel it, I want you to know that people outside of you look at your numbers and think that you're doing a kick-ass job. So is there room for improvement? Maybe. Obviously, you would know that better than I would, but I don't want you to not be proud of what you did accomplish last year, or minimize it is more the word, because I think you are proud. I don't want you to minimize that.
Yeah.
because you did incredible, Erica. Like, I, yeah, I just love you and your husband so much. Like, I don't want you to talk about yourself like that.
Well,
You did so good.
I'm proud with what I did. This is what made me make the decision to not be included in those numbers because
That, yeah,
but just hear me out. So like I know I did good. I had the best year I've had by multiples. So like I want to say double or triple what I did the year before. Close somewhere probably in between. If I put all of that effort in and then I look over that it's the whole looking over thing, right? I
yeah,
know I did great. But if I look
yeah,
over and I see, well, you were right at my heels, but I feel like I did everything for me and this was like an okay year for you, that doesn't that's what makes me like, you did good, but you didn't do that good. That's where I'm coming from. That's where I'm like that's why
no,
I'm
I
like
get that.
I'm
I'm not going to talk you out of that because I think that I understand that perfectly.
and so I did like minimize everything that I did.
Yeah,
And so I'm like, no, I know that I'm gonna have a kick-ass year, but me being like, okay, I'm gonna go hard as fuck, I'm gonna be obsessed for a whole year, like that was what I was trying to push myself to do. And that's when just yesterday, on the first of the year, I had the breakthrough. I'm like, no, that's something's feeling off. And I had to sit with myself to figure out what was feeling off. And I don't want to feel that. I don't want to be my masculine energy. I want to be like, I want to attract
yeah,
the things that work for me and s- still work hard. But
yeah,
again, just in alignment. And something I saw a video that said, um, like the goal is to know yourself so well that nothing shakes you. And that like shook me to my core. I like, there's no more second guessing. Go ahead.
you go
Oh,
ahead.
there's no
I
more
wasn't going to say anything.
there's no more second guessing. No more, "Man, I wonder if I did that right. I wonder if I did everything that I could." No, I trust myself. So, that's kind of where this is coming from.
No, I love that. And we've kind of said from the beginning, like, there's no option for failure. So it becomes more in alignment when you finally trust yourself. And it's not more like actively choosing, I'm not failing, whereas you're like, of course I'm not going to fail. Like, I trust myself. I know that I'm going to do everything that I need to succeed. Where before it's more like when you're like, I will not, it can come off more of like a hustle
Mhm.
instead of just like doing it, like just being intentional. It becomes more second. Prime example. I thought about this the other day when I was at a bar. So my favorite bartender in all of South Bend, he is going back and forth between two bars, and there's a bartender that's kind of, I don't want to say replacing him, but filling in for him or works there as well too. That is great, but not as good as the other. And when I was watching him, it's not as natural. It's because he's still learning and he's still adjusting, but he will never be as natural as this bartender. And when I look at this bartender, he everything is so natural to him. He could make a freaking drink with his eyes closed. And I'm just like sitting like I want to be able to feel so confident that it looks natural. Like that's goes with trusting yourself and living more in alignment. And I resonate with that.
And, like, that makes me think of something that you said when you're like, "Okay, I'm looking at my goals to be like, oh, like the guardrail basically. What can I do? What can I tweak?" That is the mindset that I want, not, "Fuck, I'm behind. Crap, like, I need to pick it." That's what I'm talking about when I talk about just being laser focused on my career, on growing, but not panicking, not coming from a scarcity place. And I don't have a reason to come from a scarcity place, but I'm just going to, like, I don't know. I just basically I wanted to feel good again. I don't want to feel the pressure. I want to have all the things. So something else that like was brought up in the conversation this past weekend was um all of that energy that I was putting in to my business, like or the thoughts, the energy, like even the mental space, I can focus that in other areas too to see the results, to build the evidence for myself that I can do the things, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I wish I could think of, I wrote something down and I don't have my journal with me, but I this is like, it's like a holistic thing. It's like, how can I be the best I can be in my career, also be the best wife, but like rounded, not like I'm going, because they say if you go balls to the wall in one area, something else is going to fall off. And I feel that 1,000%.
Hmm. Yeah.
But how can I become the most well rounded? You know?
Yeah.
It was,
So
go ahead.
you said balls to the wall, and something does definitely take a hit. I agree, and for me, that's usually my whole life, my being a wife and a mother. So, and you had said it about your marriage and how you feel like you. So the other night, um, Brandon and I were laying in bed, and he had made a comment, and he was kidding. It was playful, but I followed it up with a bunch of words of affirmation to him. Called him a great husband, a great father, how like I would be completely lost without him. I'm very dependent on him. And I like all these things. And he was like, I really needed to hear that. And I'm like, it stopped me in my tracks because I'm like, have I told this man that he is a great man this year other than just like a Facebook status or a TikTok that I probably haven't, other than a simple like, you're great, I love you. So like, I need to be more intentional about that too, because my marriage is also my whole world, above my career, above my kids. Is confrontational, or what's it called?
Controversial.
Controversial as it is. My marriage is priority. So one thing that I have, again, I live and breathe by my calendar, is I have in here one day from all my kids, like family time, like I have it labeled as protected time, fam. And that is when we are going to go do something together as a family. Every Saturday from 1:30 to 3:30, I will be busy spending time with my kids. And then we're going to talk about the upcoming week, because my kids are also like all the same as me. They need to know what's going on. And then every evening, except for on Thursdays and Fridays, because Brandon bowls and he also games on Fridays, I have protected time from 8:30 to 10, where it's just us, it's just our time. And we don't want kids. And then I don't have anything for Riley because he's a 16-year-old boy and he doesn't really care to spend time with his family like one-on-one. But like then every Monday Hazley has softball. So I will be included with her. Like I normally just let Brandon go. But it's a half an hour drive. That's 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back, where we can connect and we can talk. And then Dayton, I have set aside time to have one-on-one time. And it's just, I think it's like 30 minutes or an hour. Like, that's all I need.
Hmm.
And so I have it set in my calendar, blocked off. So I know to be intentional about it, because I will just keep going.
Hmm.
So,
And that's what it is. You get so, when you say autopilot, I kind of like was like, oh, that's kind of a good thing because you don't have to put too much like emphasis in it. But it's more just like you go through the motions, but you're not like taking the time to feel anything or like feel the happiness. I don't know. I'm grateful that I get to do all this with my husband. Don't get me wrong. But I also want to have a life outside of it that is just for us. And
yeah.
life for us is I mean, we're in a hard season and we don't even acknowledge that. So like we're just like keep pushing, keep pushing. So like that's where I think I'm coming from.
So, speaking of like not feeling the feelings and stuff and kind of just pushing through it and not talking about it. We had some crazy news on the day after Christmas happened, and I took 2 days to feel it. And then my mom was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'm like, I'm fine. I'm done. I took my 2 days. I felt it. I'm done. I grieved it. I'm over it. I have shit to do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have time. I didn't have time those 2 days. I wasted 2 days worth of shit, but it needed to happen, whatever. But like, I don't have time for that shit. So I feel like it's okay to process and feel those feelings. And I know you won't do this. I know you won't wallow, but like, also don't wallow.
Oh
And
yeah,
people in general,
I
we're not,
can't.
we're not wallowing.
Yeah.
Take your day and then suck it up. We got shit to do.
Yeah. And honestly, you shouldn't even use the full. I don't know. Maybe that's unhealthy. That probably is
Whatever,
unhealthy
use a
advice.
day, whatever, however heavy the situation is, use a day. Mine was so heavy, I took two. So, and I don't usually take shit. I don't process nothing. Like, I'm just like, all right, it is what it is. Let's move on. Got shit to do. But, yeah. So I think that we both have great trajectory for 2026. We know what we want. We know what we need to do to get there. And I think that I am very excited for 2026 because it seems like it's a general consensus for most people that 2025 sucked. And I was kind of getting annoyed with seeing all the posts about how hard 2025 was, because I'm like, so everybody just had a trash 2025? Like, did nobody have a good if you had a good 2025, please let me know. Like, I would love to know. Like, overall.
Overall, I think it was like I had so many beautiful moments in 2025. Like I
I did
had
too.
so many beautiful things. I just think that I learned so much. And that's
It was a heavy
why
year.
very heavy taking the time to I never look back. Never. Ever. So just taking the time to like look back and say, "Damn, maybe that wasn't or maybe that was heavy. I didn't feel that like that was hard."
Yeah,
Um I don't know. I'm really ready for 2026. I think that it's going to be I think it's going to be a great year.
I did too.
I'm just saying, I'm ready to take a different approach, you know?
Different approach. I love that. Yes, I agree.
But the,
I think in experiencing things differently, like the way that you like, obviously, I think there, you're responsible for this, your feel, like your action. So like if somebody does something to you, it's natural, whatever feeling, hurt, disappointment, frustration, but what you do with that is what matters. So when things happen, handling it with grace, handling it with kindness, handling it with softness, choosing happiness, like,
I don't know who needs to hear this, but I do. You don't always have to be right. Even if you're right, let it go. My husband,
are you talking to me?
he will tell you, I heard him tell his friend or somebody, like, no, she's always right. But that's, we don't need to do that. I don't need to prove that to anyone. Because this year
That's
we're going to know ourselves so well that nothing shakes us. No second guessing ourselves.
absolutely. Brandon had made a comment. He said something that I knew he was wrong. And I was so exhausted. I didn't want to prove my point. So I was like, okay, that's all I said. And he was like, what? And I was like, nothing, just okay. Cause he's not used to me just letting it go. So I think he knew in my okay that there's more. I said, I think you're wrong, but that's okay. Like, we don't need to talk about it. Like, if you think you're, that's fine. And then so then we ended up talking about it because he made me, but like, okay, like, if it's something stupid, if it's not going to hurt anybody, if it's not going to make you like educate incorrectly, whatever. 2 + 2 = 6, fine. Whatever. Don't tell your kids that, but if that's what you want to believe, that's fine. Like, I'm not arguing with you about it. Like,
Because what does it do for you besides you're sitting there getting yourself riled up and trying to convince somebody of something that they're never going to believe? For
I wonder
what?
if normal people don't get riled up, and if we just get riled up because we're
Yeah, because you can meet people that are just very much just like, okay, sounds good. Like, I didn't know that that's how you felt. Or like, I don't know.
yeah, uh-uh. I get anxiety.
Well, like I had told you before, I clock things. So like that I have a data center up here of things and events that have happened. And so if there's any inconsistency, my mind is cross-referencing it.
That's so
It
funny.
is a problem.
I said to my brother the other day, because he said that he thought about it. He was talking about it. He's like, I don't know, maybe I'm like under processing. And I was like, well, you're under processing. I'm over processing. We got the processing taken care of here. Like, we're good. We'll be fine. So I just think we're natural overthinkers and we are very observant. We have very good intuition.
Yeah.
We read into everything, maybe a bit too much. For me, speaking to myself, like somebody didn't hug me at my brother's house the other day, and I was like, is he mad at me? Like, he walked right past me. He didn't stop. So,
Yeah, I could feel that.
yeah. So I was like, what's wrong? And my brother's like, maybe he thought you smelled. And I was like, I was fresh out the shower, boy. I smell great. All right. Any final words for 2026? Our very first episode
Of
of 2026?
2026, and I hope it wasn't a downer. It's more of an encouragement, I think, or a
Yeah.
permission slip to feel the things.
Yeah.
You know?
Feel the things, but don't let it wallow. Choose wisely your decisions.
Do what
Show up
feels good for
kind.
you.
Yes. Yes. Choose happiness, not chaos.
That's it. That should
Yeah.
be on a shirt.
That could be our title.
Yes. Noted.
Awesome. All right. That's all we got for you guys. Thank you for listening.
Don't forget that we now have an Amazon storefront and it's going to be posted on all our social media platforms.
Also, Hustle Humbly podcast has some great resources to get your business started for the year. So if you're kind of running behind on that and you need some resources, hustlehumblypodcast.com has some great help, how to clean things up, so much more. And if you purchase one of their resources and use the code after hours, you will get $100 off.
Also, don't forget to follow us on all the socials and whatever listening platform you have, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube this year.
Whoop, whoop.
All of the things.
Also, all the things. Also, we would love to hear some of your crazy real estate stories that we can add to, like, Are You Triggered, or our own real life selling Michiana, Am I the Asshole?
And hopefully coming, if we could get some listener participation, I want to introduce a Judge Judy. Well, like our own version of Judge Judy.
That would be awesome. So if you guys have stories for that,
if you want to know if you're right or wrong, please present it to the your honor, or present it to the courts.
The Agents After Hour courts. Let me know about a situation and we will weigh in on that. But you got to give all the details. Like, if you're going to give us half-ass details, then I'm going to be like, I need more context here.
We don't need names.
Do not give me names. Do not give me names.
Just put little asterisks. But if you're like, am I wrong in this? Who is the correct individual? We can help you figure it out.
Or if you felt alone in a situation and you want validation, reassurance that you did the right thing, let me know too. We'd love to talk about them. And of course, all of this is always anonymous and we don't use names. And if we ever slipped up, we would cut it out. We would edit it out. Like, we've never slipped up on a name. So I think gender we have. Names we have not.
But don't do that if you're going to get your feelings hurt if I think you're wrong. And we're going to talk to you like we talk to our friends.
Absolutely. All right, folks, we will see you next episode.
Bye.
Bye.